Felipe, I suppose we got the news last week about the positive case in Munster. Were there any kind of initial fears or concerns about this weekend's game going ahead?
No, it's all protocols and it's everything is new for us. So we are continuously adapting to what situations come forward for us. But we stick to our plan. We control only what we can do. We wish the player to get better soon, and hopefully there are no more cases, neither in Leinster nor the other 4 provinces, so that we can have rugby running well this weekend. But we stick to what we can control, that is our training sessions,
Sorry, Felipe, I just had to unmute myself. Sorry about that, lads. In terms of the squad, Felipe, can you give us an update on who's in, who's out, who's fit to go this weekend?
James Ryan is not in. He's making progress, but he's not in. But we have pretty much most of the squad to pick from. Obviously we had some injuries like Adam Byrne and Conor O'Brien, but we are there. I think we have a very lengthy and then a lot of players to pick from.
You've been involved as a player and on the coaching staff of so many Munster Leinster derbies. Is this the strangest build-up to one of them you've been involved with?
It's a different one, definitely. I don't know if it's strange, but yeah, I'd say it's all different and new for us in terms of what we are living, and I think for everyone, and definitely it will be strange not having that the supporters there and all the people, but I think it's been such a work from everyone in the country, like trying to get control this pandemic and this virus, that hopefully we can give back and bring some rugby into what people would like to watch and entertain, watching. And I think it can get better than a Leinster Munster to start with, So I think, it's a strange one, but seeing what we've been through in the last few months, everyone in the country, I think it's a great opportunity to get back rugby running, and a derby like Leinster Munster is always welcome.
Felipe,
how are you? I'm just wondering, obviously before COVID-19, we would hear an awful lot from yourself or Stuart or Leo about just how difficult week on week it is to manage, I suppose, chopping and changing of players in and out of game weeks. Given that you haven't had any rugby to play in the last 5 months, just how difficult is the team selection going to be for this weekend? What are the thoughts going around the coaching group there?
Yeah, it's tough, obviously, because we have a lot of fit players and players with the desire to get on the pitch, So there will be a very, very tough calls to make. But having said that, we know it's all about Leinster and the players. They understand that we are making all the best for us to keep on and finish the best we can this season. And so, for the coaches, it's a bit of a headache, but it's a good headache to have. It's a good problem to have, and like how they've been training the last few weeks, it's been amazing. And so, I know it will be tough for some players, but it's we have to see the bigger picture, and here is we have a lot of big games coming, and straight away we are into finals rugby, so it's there's a lot to play, and everyone has to be ready because you don't know when you'll have your chance,
I suppose there's obviously little room for error, obviously, because you're straight in. You're going to have a Pro 14 semi-final and then straight into Europe then as well.
Yeah. Definitely, there's no room for error because in finals rugby there's no room for error. But that's the weird part of this, going into after 4 months without playing, going straight into such a big and important games. But we'll all be in the same situation. So that's what we are trying to prepare, and hopefully, and I'd like to think that we'll prepare the best we could. Or we are preparing the best we can, and hopefully we get it right. And as you said, there's no room for errors, but it will be very intense, and that's where we need everyone switch on, and we can't just get too bugged if you're picked or not in the first game. They're like, hopefully we'll have a six game in a run before we start the next season, and one more if we arrive to the final. Hopefully we arrive to the final of the Champions Cup. So it's a lot to play, and there's a lot to play, and we'll definitely need it from everyone, and you don't know when you'll have your chance.
Felipe, just if I can ask you, for a lot of people, they're speaking about a restart and a fresh start for rugby this weekend. Obviously, from Leinster's perspective, you've put yourself in a very strong position to win silverware on two fronts. How much have you spoken to the players about the need to focus on finishing a job rather than a fresh start or a new start this weekend?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I understand where you come from, but for us, it's like it's improving every game, So for us, I know it could be in very few weeks, it could be a matter of getting silverware, but for us, that's seem too far ahead. I think we need to focus, and that's what our message and how we speak and how we see it is getting better every game, and it's very hard to go and have your first game with playing such a big game in your first game. So it will be a big challenge, and for us it's starting from there and getting better for the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one, and that's how we approach every game, every season. And I know we're going straight into finals, but everyone will be in the same situation. So we can't get too far ahead and thinking of silverware when we know that we have to first start playing properly and well, and having a good performance. We focus on our performance on Saturday.
Just one more for me, if it's okay. Just obviously there was the novelty of playing in a 51,000 seater stadium with only 200 people present. We often hear players talk about visualizing what the Millennium Stadium is like with the roof closed, or what some of the French venues are like when you go to play there. Have you spoken to the group about the mental aspect of dealing with an empty stadium, or is that an individual player by player issue?
Yeah, I think it's definitely it's a group thing, but also a very individual and personal matter. I'm sure that some players will be more distracted without people, and some players will be distracted with people. So I think it's important we address it, and in terms of how we want to get on with it, and what we think it could be the situation. But we haven't gone through any similar situation in the past or in the near past. So it will all be new, and probably we can visualize, as you said, or imagine how it will be, but we'll still have to go through it, and we'll have the first experience on Saturday. But yeah, we've been talking how we can deal with it, or the what if scenarios, but we still have to go through it, and we're looking forward, and hopefully they'll be well set up to have a great game,